So, Grace is one of our club members, and we're having a chat today about UK diving. So, we'll start by just finding out a bit more about you, Grace. So, whereabouts did you train and how long ago?
So it was about 7 years ago now. We were on a family holiday in Egypt, and we've been to this hotel like a few times before, and we realised that there's a dive centre on the beach. And at the time, I was 10 years old when we went back to this hotel, and my dad found out that's the minimum age you can do the junior open water with Paddy from, and I think he thought it was kind of a good excuse for him to do it because he's always wanted to do it. So yeah, we both did it together, and it kind of carried on from there. Never looked back.
Brilliant. And so, you trained overseas, you trained in Egypt. What made you start diving in the UK?
Well, I mean, we kind of, when we got back to the UK, we never really thought that we would stop diving. We just wanted to carry on as soon as possible, really. When we thought about UK diving, obviously we didn't take into account like that we didn't really think about, we knew it would be cold, but we didn't know about dry suits and all that kind of stuff. So we just joined a club thinking that it was going to be like what we kind of experienced in Egypt, and it was completely different, but I love it.
What is it about UK diving you love?
I think there's just such a variety of different places. Like, people don't understand that it's not always, I mean, a lot of the time, yeah, the viz is really bad and you can't see a lot. But even on those dives, like training dives and stuff like that, I still enjoy just being underwater. And even in the local dive sites, they have all of the things, the planes and the cars and all that kind of stuff. And just going and seeing them, there's always something that you haven't seen.
Yeah. So in the UK, obviously I love UK diving, so I'm very, very biased. But in terms of inland sites, what would you say your favourite inland site would be?
I think I have two. Probably Chepstow, so NDAC, or Cape and Ray. I've only been to Cape and Ray once, but the time that we went there, it was really, really good. Like, I mean, apart from my dad's dry suit flooding in about 6-degree water, which it was the coldest dives we've done, but some of the best, because when it's colder, obviously the viz is normally better. So yeah, those were great. And I just like the place as well. The place was really nice. And NDAC, can't really fault it. Been there a few times now, and it's always been a fun weekend or day trip whenever we go.
Cool. That's where you did your deep.
Yeah, that was such a great weekend. That
was
really
so good. I can't even remember how many dives we did, but we maxed out our bottom time totally.
Yeah.
And just spent so much time in the water, and then we had yeah, we ate there, we stayed there, didn't we, and ate there. Yeah. And
that was probably that was my first time probably in the UK staying over somewhere and doing diving, like going away to do diving somewhere. And yeah, I just really enjoyed that.
And getting up in the morning and dashing off to get in, so we were first in the water.
Yeah.
God, I ached. That weekend was so full. So what about the sea? What in the UK sea has been your favourite so far?
Well, I mean, this is surprising because I can't lie. I'm not going to lie on this. We've only done Chelsea.
Okay.
We actually haven't done it because we've always wanted to do more like sea dives, but just never got around to it. So we've always just gone back to Chelsea because it's closest to us. And I love it. It's great going on the rib. Haven't even done any shore diving in Chelsea. But every time we've been, it's been great. But obviously we had a lot planned for this year, like St Abs and...
Today we were meant to be diving out of New Haven.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've just looked at the date, and today was New Haven boat dives, so we've missed 2 lots of boat dives, long weekends in 4 days, I think it was, in Port Keris, wasn't it? We've just missed as well.
Yeah.
So St Abs in August now.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful for that, but don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we when we went up to Chepstow, we did the deep course, the PADI deep course and everything. I know you've trained with a lot of different agencies, and we're not agency snobs at all.
Yeah.
It's as long as your training is good, then that's all that counts. But in terms of getting to where you are now, so I know you're going to turn 18 in a few months, and we're going to start your dive master, and we'll be doing that. What sort of training has got you to where you are?
Well, I mean, obviously, so when we got back from Egypt, I pretty much did the advanced straight away with PADI. And I think it was probably a good thing to do just because we needed more knowledge, and also to learn to dive in the UK, we needed to do that. But necessarily now, I look back on it, I think I probably, after doing the advanced, I would have wanted to get a bit more experience in between doing the advanced and like the rescue stuff, because I did the rescue. Obviously, it's kind of a natural progression because you think, oh, I'm a diver, I need to know how to rescue people. It makes sense to do it, and it is a good thing to do. But I was only 13 at the time, so it was pretty difficult.
Mind you, you've done quite a lot of rescue stuff since, because I know you've played dead for me or unconscious a few times, and we've acted out a few scenarios at Raysbury. And Divers Cove when we were diving there.
Yeah, pretty much at Divers Cove, at one stage we were going there every weekend, and just practicing all of the rescue stuff all the time, because I didn't want to forget anything. So that, I suppose in a way that did build up my experience quite a lot, but I kind of wish that I did a bit more actual diving, because even though I've been diving for 7 years, I still, compared to a lot of people, haven't done a lot of dives. But
well, I don't know, I think you sort of get a few people that give all the I've logged 247 dives, or I've logged 52 dives and I'm an advanced diver, and you're like, okay. And of course, it doesn't matter how many dives you've logged and how experienced you are. If you go somewhere new, then it's new. And it's quite nice actually when people have the confidence to be able to evaluate themselves accurately, sort of give a fair reflection. I've dived with you, I don't know how many times, but a lot. Great buoyancy, great in the water.
But then people say that, but I still know that I have a lot of improvement. Like literally, the last time I dived, probably end of January, I think, and I remember getting in then, and I just remember thinking, oh, my feet are so floaty, and oh, it's horrible. But yeah.
Do you not find though that even after a short gap, getting in the first sort of few minutes
it feels so strange?
Yeah, it always surprises me when people sort of complain about the 6-month refresher, especially when they've dived hardly at all before. And I just think, oh, if I haven't dived for 6 months, I want to take a little bit of time out and get used to it again before I
feel like after this, I'm definitely going to need to have, because I don't know if I'll be sick. I don't know if it will be 6 months since I last dived, but I still feel like I'll need to do something to get back into it.
We'll go together.
Yeah,
I don't want to just
go straight into the sea or whatever. But
we'll go midweek and we'll have a go at that together. So in terms of sort of your plans and so on for diving, what are you thinking?
So obviously next year I want to do dive master just to get into the professional kind of level. I'm still not sure, because I was planning, before I knew that I wanted to do underwater filming and that kind of stuff. Before that, I thought I wanted to be an instructor. Not too sure now. I think I might do it depending on where I get with the filming and that. But because I want to do the filming, I'll probably have to do a HSE course, so I can actually like work doing it. So I think for the next couple of years, that's going to be my goal, is to get into that kind of professional level. After that, who knows, really. I know I definitely look at some cave stuff sometimes and I'm like, oh, that would be nice, but I don't know. Mum might not let me do that yet.
I'll come along and carry your bags. So lots of great ambition, and I've seen the sort of stuff that you've done, and I've seen I've seen sort of photographs and how you've progressed. How has club diving sort of helped you?
Well, I think club diving really, especially with like our club, it's really just, even when we're not training, it's kind of the first experiences that I've had of just diving for fun, and it does make it so much more fun and enjoyable. Because all of the dives before, like with the clubs that I've been with before, not naming any names, but all of the dives that I've done have all been like, every dive has to be a training dive, and still on the ones that we do, we're still learning, but we just go for fun. And I think I just really enjoyed it,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've just really enjoyed diving with different people. And like you getting me to not dive with Dad all the time has been very helpful, because now obviously he's not doing it. So it's like I'm not scared to go and dive with other people now, which is a good thing.
It's a step by step though, isn't it? And it's all right to step out of your comfort zone, but you don't want to always leap out of your comfort zone. You sort of want to take it a bit at a time.
Gradually.
You're comfortable. If I remember rightly, you actually led the dives last time we went to Raysbury, so you're quite comfortable taking on that role. Yeah, I mean, just thinking back to what you're saying about what your plans are and where you're heading to, what university is it you're looking at?
It is in Falmouth University, which I know around there, because literally it's the only university course, I think, what was it? I think it's the only university course that actually like teaches underwater photography. Like, so if you didn't have a PADI already, they'll give you your PADI, but they do advise people that have already dived to go on the course, because then they don't have to train you, obviously, and you can just go and dive. So it's definitely like, I just think it would be so cool, like, to dive as part of education. Like, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I know. I just got the dog coughing down here. I don't know that I would apply for an underwater photography course without having done any diving. I'm not sure. University is obviously the place you go to learn to do things. I'm not sure that I would commit. I
mean, well, it is. It's marine and natural history photography, so it does cover on land stuff as well. So it will be like half of the course is basically wildlife photography, and then half of it is underwater. But you don't. I think they say that you can kind of make it as much as you want underwater or not underwater. So it's kind of an extra.
Okay. So what sort of stuff have you seen that's inspired you, sort of in diving? What's inspired you?
Well, I mean, I was talking about this on another podcast. It was like, I always look at the tech divers at the dive sites and stuff, and I think, oh, that looks so cool. But I've always been a bit intimidated by that.
Mind you, you've started side mount, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really annoying because I did the side mount in September, and my plan was that was me getting back into doing lots of diving. And I've only dived once since then, and it wasn't even in side mount. So literally September was the last time that I did my side mount at all. But I definitely want to do more of it. And if I go into the filming, then I'm gonna need to do like rebreather stuff. Everyone talks about rebreathers when they're filming with like the BBC and stuff. You always have to be rebreather certified. But yeah, so that's what those people are kind of, they don't like inspire me, but I just think it looks cool. And then to do the actual underwater filming, it was literally just like watching things like, I watched a documentary on penguins when I was like 11 or something, and I just like, they have been my favorite animals ever since, and just the underwater filming on that was incredible. And then since then I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, I've always, I don't know, for me, I started diving in the UK because of the wrecks and the history, but I just think you get this experience that's wonderful being underwater anyway, and then you get this entire world opened up to you that you can explore and see it in a different way. It's just absolutely wonderful. So we obviously promote UK diving heavily, and we try and get people involved in UK diving. Any advice for anybody?
Well, I think if at first it can be quite overwhelming. I remember, especially like for younger people, or like even just smaller people, like I'm short and I had struggled to find a dry suit that fits, and when I was training and whatever. But I think the main piece of advice is, if you really want to actually get into it, you just have to practice. And if you do really want to do it, then you're going to get there somehow, even if you have to buy secondhand equipment, or just borrow stuff all the time. It will get easier as you practice.
Yeah, the kit is quite a big thing, and it's quite overwhelming, isn't it? And I think I don't think it matters whether you learn to dive here or learn to dive overseas. If you learn to dive in the UK, you kind of have a bit of a head start, because you know how it works, and you see how it works, and it opens it up a little bit, doesn't it? But I think with the time ahead, people are going to be a little bit cautious about going overseas, maybe. I don't know. But I do think that the UK's got a lot to offer.
I feel like I would have learned a lot more on my open water if I started in the UK. But obviously people, like the general public, I suppose, I don't think they think about the UK as somewhere that you can dive. Like a lot of people that I talk to, they just say like, where do you dive? Is there anywhere?
I get that.
Like, they don't know.
Where do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, let me start.
Yeah.
So you haven't dived for farms then?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're going to St. Abbs this year. But we'll definitely have to go up to the farms and have a weekend away.
Like every year. I'm like, oh my god, they look so good.
Your dad can snorkel with Darcy.
Yeah, he could be her troll finder.
Yeah, you and I can head out underwater, and we'll leave Ants in charge of the snorkeling. So we'll just volunteer in there. So yeah, I mean, thank you for everything so far, and obviously we see each other quite a lot anyway. So anything else at all that you would like to say, anything on diving generally, or UK diving?
Well, I just think maybe with the younger diving, I know our club really likes to promote the younger divers and stuff, and I think it's a great thing. Like we have Matthew, who's like now kind of come into our club a bit more, like the adult section of the club, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
we just like
might want to rephrase that next time you use that phrase in a podcast. The grown-ups.
Yeah, the grown-up part of the club. Yeah, so Matthew has come into the kind of the grown-up part of the club, and so I just think that I remember like being that age. Matthew isn't that much younger than me actually, but just to all of the younger divers who actually want to do it properly, I just think it's such a good opportunity. So many things have come out of diving for me that I just like would never ever have done if it wasn't for diving. And it's kind of like built, this sounds cheesy, like so cheesy, but it's kind of like diving is my whole thing now. Like even my Instagram username, I could never change my Instagram username now because people literally call me that now in real life, which is so strange. So yeah, I just think that we need to get more younger divers involved.
Definitely, and it's a challenge because people don't want the responsibility of diving with a younger diver. Obviously, there are limits for younger divers and so on. But I mean, I think it's helped having you having your dad as a diver. That's definitely been a huge boost. But I'd imagine it would have been quite a nice activity to do together anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I mean, like we got to I mean, it's so strange because a lot of my friends would think like, why the hell do you enjoy that, getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to drive somewhere 3 hours away and then get in cold water? But it really does, like, you do things that not a lot of other people do, and it's so much fun.
You go places you wouldn't have gone, and
oh, exactly, yeah. I mean, yeah, we've been up north, Wales, pretty much down south, everywhere.
Yeah, definitely it gives you the opportunity. It just gives a focus for seeing the UK in a different way, really. So, well, thank you very much for your time.
That's okay.
And we're going to be doing another one of these where you are interviewing me.
Quite excited for that.
Yeah, role reversal. But thank you very much for your time, and I shall see you soon, Grace.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.